All right, what's up, guys? Not the greatest day yesterday. I'm going to say that right away. I had a big bet on the Jays Pirates nerfing and got burned on that one, but that's on me, obviously. Obviously, I don't want you guys to be losing money, but it's going to happen. Saturdays seem to be my worst days. I don't know why, as far as this year goes. Saturdays seem to be the ones where I either make little money or I lose all outright. But don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you found any value. Drop your picks in the comments. Let's try to make some money today. It is Sunday, so be careful with the MLB. We've got a hockey game going on. I hope my Oilers can close it out tonight at home. City's going to be bumping, so going to be cheering for them. So it's probably going to be biased, but I am going to take the Oilers. Going to say that right now. The home crowd just helps them so much. They play so much better. So Dallas backs against the wall, but yeah, we'll talk about that game just slightly maybe in a bit, but let's get into it. Don't want to waste your guys' time as always. Try to get this video done as quick as possible. You know how it goes. It doesn't usually happen, but let's get. All right, first game up is a tough one. Twins and Astros. Simeon Woods Richardson going for the Twins. Hunter Brown going for the Astros. Hunter Brown actually come off a good start. It was versus the Mariners where he had 9 strikeouts, only gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings. Mariners do strike out quite a bit. Twins strikeout numbers aren't terrible, but you got Simeon Woods Richardson. He doesn't usually get a lot of strikeouts, and he usually only goes about 5 innings max. So he's went 6 innings once before in the last 5 games, but other than that, he doesn't usually go too deep into games. His pitch count usually goes around 80, 85 pitches, usually somewhere around there. Both these teams, Twins hitting 243 versus righties, Astros hitting 255. Honestly, I think Woods Richardson is a little bit better as far as the starting pitcher goes, but Hunter Brown does have a higher strikeout rate. Woods Richardson 2.70 ERA, 1.10 WHIP on the season. Hunter Brown 6.39 ERA. This one's a tough one for me. I mean, I would like to take the value with the Twins. It would be Twins for me or pass, but the Astros have only won 4 of their last 10 games, whereas the Twins have won 7 of their last 10. I mean, I don't know. The series is split 1-1. I'm probably going to be hunting for underdogs today. Yeah, it's Twins for me or pass, which is probably going to be the latter on this one, honestly. But Ryan Jeffers, again, and the guy I like to look at versus a righty. If I was going to look at a guy on the Twins side, he's got 8 home runs, batting 256. On the Astros side, obviously Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, Kyle Tucker, all 4 of those guys are good. When you look at Woods Richardson, he hasn't given up a home run in 3 straight starts now. His last time he gave up home runs was May 11th, where he gave up 2 in Toronto. So he's only given up home runs in 1 of his last 5 games. Brown, he's given up home runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. So he can be susceptible to giving up the home run ball, but it's Twins for me or pass, potentially a Ryan Jeffers home run, maybe Jordan Alvarez, Bregman, something like that. But as far as the total goes, I don't really have anything. Both the games have been lower scoring games, lack of offense pretty much on one side or the other in both these games. Total at 8.5. I think it's kind of efficient, really. Wouldn't surprise me to see somewhere around there. So I don't have any lean versus the total. All right, going to Fenway here. We got a early afternoon game. Should be nice weather here. We got 80 degree temperatures, 4 to 5 mile an hour wind kind of blowing out towards the left field wall, kind of across. But Brian Bale going versus Casey Mize. Casey Mize has kind of struggled somewhat this season. He's got a 4.71 ERA with a 1.43 WHIP and only a 15.5% strikeout rate. So definitely not what you really want to see from one of your starting pitchers. Both these guys can be susceptible to giving up home runs. Casey Mize at 1.1 home runs per 9. Brian Bale 1.5 home runs per 9. So I could see some home runs being hit in this game potentially. It has been all Red Sox in this series, other than the first game of the series where the Red Sox got shut out. But obviously the Red Sox still dealing with injuries. Tyler O'Neill out, and then Kerry Carpenter out for the Tigers still. Mark Canha's questionable, but he typically hits lefties quite a bit better than he does righties. Casey Mize has given up home runs in 5 straight starts. Brian Bale, he's given up home runs in 2 of his last 4 starts. So I don't know. The Red Sox are hitting a little bit better versus righties, 237 versus 217 for the Tigers. I think I would go with the Red Sox, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some runs in this game. If I was going to look at some guys for home runs, let's see, on the Tigers side, Riley Green, maybe Matt Bierling, a couple of those guys versus righties. Let's see, on the Red Sox side, Rafael Devers, 10 home runs, batting 295. Willie Abreu, I like him. He's usually at the top of the lineup. He's got 291 average with 6 home runs versus righties. Rafaela, 6 home runs. He hit 2 the other game. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but 212 average. But he's coming off 2 home run hit in this series in one game. So I lean to the Red Sox in this one. Not my favorite matchup, but I don't really trust Casey Mize a ton. I wish Tyler O'Neill was in the lineup because it would be I'd be auto betting probably the Red Sox, but both teams 5-5 in their last 10 games. Red Sox are pretty heavy favorites. I think it's kind of for a reason here. I do like Bayo a little bit more than Mize, so I would take the Red Sox here. Gonna probably play a couple home run hitters, but Casey Mize's low strikeout rate don't really love that a ton. As far as ground ball rate, Brian Bayo is more of a ground ball pitcher but they do still have above average ground ball rates for both these guys. So that might limit some of the runs, but I still think we could see a couple home runs. All right, going to Camden Yards, where the Orioles host the Rays for this final game of the series here. The Orioles put up 9 runs yesterday. I think it was a 9-5 finish. They've won 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. They're 21-11 at home. Baltimore is, whereas Tampa Bay is 11-13 on the road. Baltimore being favored in this one makes sense to me. As much as I want to take the Rays, I just don't trust them offensively. Zach Littell has given up home runs in 3 straight starts. Cole Irvin, he gave up 1 home run in his last 5 starts, which was the only game he gave up runs. It was a 4-2 Baltimore win. He gave up 2 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings, and 1 home run. Other than that, he's been limiting runs. He's been on fire. He's been really hot pitcher. The Rays are just struggling versus lefties. They're not even hitting righties that well right now. But when they look at their last 10 games, they're hitting just 169 versus left-handed pitchers. Whereas the Orioles hitting 277 versus righties, getting a little bit better than they were recently. The wind is blowing straight out to center field, 9 to 10 miles an hour, 86 to 87 degree temperatures, a little bit of humidity in the air. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some home runs here. I think the Orioles probably get the win. I had Gunnar Henderson for a home run yesterday. He didn't get it done for me, unfortunately, but he does have 14 home runs versus righties this year, 242 average. Ryan O'Hearn from the left side is a good guy too. Home runs are going to be hit the best to the left field and center field wall in this game, particularly. I mean, Camden Yards, the right field wall is a lot further, so it is a little bit harder for bull hitters to hit home runs out that way. So I think Baltimore gets the win again. Tampa Bay has lost 7 of their last 10 games. Baltimore's won 8 of their last 10. I trust Cole Irvin and this Orioles offense a little bit more, so give me the Orioles here. All right, this game is kind of an ugly one. Braves huge favorites again. Yesterday they lost outright as like -340, -350 favorites. Luis Medina making his first start of the season. He is a righty, and then you got Charlie Morton, who I don't really trust a lot either. He's coming off a terrible start last outing, 5 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. He's given up home runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. Oakland, not a huge power hitting home run team, but I don't know. I don't really trust either one of these teams right now, and I'm not laying huge juice with the Braves, so I would either take the Athletics or the over if I was going to play this game. As far as potentially home run hitters, I had Marcell Ozuna yesterday. He did hit a home run yesterday, so wouldn't shock me to see him hit another one, but you're not going to get the greatest of numbers on that. You might want to look at maybe a couple A's. Brent Rooker's not bad. He's got a 306 average with 8 home runs. Shea Langoliers, 10 home runs, batting 235. I like those two guys. Miguel Andujar, I can't remember it. I'm probably butchering his name, but he does have a 409 average. He's been in the lineup just a short amount of time. He hit his first home run just recently. He doesn't strike out a ton usually, so he would be a decent guy to look at. He's got some decent power. And then other than that, Ozuna on the Braves side, Matt Olson, maybe Michael Harris for a little bit better odds, but he usually hits a little bit lower in the lineup. He might be hitting leadoff actually with Ozuna out or with Acuna out, so he might actually be hitting the top of the lineup. So Michael Harris might be a guy to look at too. But either way, I can't bet on the Braves right now. I think I would play the over if I was going to do anything here. All right, going to Rogers Center where the Blue Jays host the Pirates. Blue Jays got absolutely dusted yesterday. They lost 8-1. No offense really in that game at all. Quinn Priester, the righty, going against Chris Bassett. Bassett hasn't given up an earned run in his last 2 starts. He's got 11 strikeouts in 12 innings, 2 walks given up. Quinn Priester on the other side, though, his last 10 and 2/3 innings, given up 7 earned runs, only 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 2 home runs. So not a guy you really want to trust a lot. Quinn Priester doesn't really have the greatest strikeout stuff. He can induce ground balls. That's one thing he can do. He has a pretty high ground ball rate, way above average, about 62%. But he's got 2.3 home run per 9, 8.3% barrel rate, 51.6% hard hit rate. That's definitely not what you want to see. I mean, the Blue Jays have been struggling, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't really want to lay this price with the Blue Jays. I don't know if I can back the Pirates right now either. Two teams, 2 ugly teams, really. Both are like 50-50 at their last 10 games. Blue Jays are hitting 247 in their last 10. Pirates hitting about 220. Look at the last 5 games. Pirates are hitting just 173 versus righties. Blue Jays just hitting 204. So I lean to the Blue Jays, and I do not love it. Honestly, could see the Pirates winning this game. If I was going to look at a Blue Jay for a home run, maybe Davis Schneider. He's got 4 home runs, batting 250. Bo Bichette's got 4 home runs, batting 272. Other than that, usually Vladdy, but he just hasn't been hitting home runs, especially at home. He's just struggling. On the other side, O'Neal Cruz, 298 average with 5 home runs versus righties. Or maybe like Andrew McCutchen, 5 home runs, batting 233. Other than that, not a huge lean one way or the other, but yeah, a lot of these games so far are not my favorite. All right, another kind of tough game here. The Nationals have been struggling offensively. 4 of their last 5 games have been like 2 to 3 runs or less that they've scored. So I do like Washington, but Cleveland has been absolutely red hot. They're 20-6 at home this year. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They do usually drop 1 in a series. Like, they don't usually, I don't know. This might be the one game that Washington can win, but Jake Irvin is last outing, 10 strikeouts, no earned runs to the Braves, 6 innings pitched, and he still lost. He didn't get any backup. His offense didn't back him up, which has kind of been the case in a lot of his starts. They've been lower scoring games, and he just hasn't been his offense hasn't been backing him up. So that's my one thing. Carlos Carrasco, though, he can give up lots of hard contact. He's given up a lot of home runs so far this season. Doesn't get a ton of strikeouts. I don't know. I just don't trust him a lot, but I don't know about the offense for the Nationals. Like, their last 10 games, they're hitting 228 versus righties. Guardians hitting 253. I lean to the Nationals, but I just don't know if they can do enough offensively, because that's where they've been struggling right now. They've been a profitable team. I mean, it is Sunday. You never know. Maybe the Guardians drop one with Carrasco here. Some of these Nationals do know Carrasco pretty well. Rosario has 3 home runs, I think, in 40 at-bats in his career versus Carlos Carrasco. Joey Gallo has 2 home runs in 7 at-bats. Riley Adams, 2 home runs and 9 at-bats. So they know him. Some of these guys know him fairly well. Joey Gallo hasn't been hitting a ton of home runs. He strikes out quite a bit, but Eddie Rosario's got 7 home runs. He's just got a bad average. He's not hitting a lot. That's the only issue with the Nationals here. But Jesse Winker, 5 home runs, batting 253 versus righties. So CJ Abrams, 6 home runs, batting 208. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. The wind is blowing straight out to center field. There is a potential of a little bit of rain, but I don't think it's going to delay or cause the game not to go. But I kind of lean to the Nationals. I think if they get a win in this series, it'll be this game. I just need their offense to show up. All right, another game that I really honestly don't love. Jose Quintana, the lefty, going against Brandon Pfaadt. Pfaadt has given up home runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. Jose Quintana has given up home runs in back-to-back starts. He gave up 2 last outing versus the Dodgers in 6 innings. It was only 3 earned runs given up, only 3 strikeouts. So I don't love either one of these starting pitchers. I don't love the fact that the D-backs are favorites either. So both these teams not playing the best. The D-backs 13-17 on the road. Mets 13-20 at home. Man, I don't know. We've seen 15 runs yesterday, 19 runs in the game before that, and then 5 in the first game to start the series. So, man, this is hard. Mets are hitting just 202 versus righties in the last 10 games, and the D-backs hitting just 220. So neither one of these teams really excites me too much. I don't really trust either one of their bullpens right now. Versus lefties, Ketel Marte might be a guy to look at. He's got 7 home runs with batting 286. Most of the D-backs typically are better. Christian Walker, I think he hit a home run yesterday. I did have Pete Alonso to hit a home run as well. He did get one. So maybe Christian Walker, Ketel Marte, look at a couple of those guys. We do have 10-mile-an-hour winds and 80-degree temperatures. 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing like pretty much straight out to left center field. So wouldn't surprise me to see these pitchers give up a couple home runs. Kind of lean to the over in a little bit at 8, but it is weird that you've seen, the 2 high-scoring games we're seeing a total at 8. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Mets somehow found a way to win this game. But again, I do not like this game whatsoever. Pete Alonso, good guy versus righties. Francisco Lindor. Brandon Nimmo, not bad, but he's been kind of cold as far as hitting home runs. Lindor has 7. Alonso has 9. So 2 guys that can hit righties pretty well. And then JD Martinez has kind of been coming along. He seems to get home runs late in the games. So might see a couple guys there. But as far as the side goes, I don't love either one of these teams. This is a tough one for me. Maybe, I don't know. I don't love Jose Quintana. I would lean to the D-backs, but I just don't love it that much. All right, the trend continues. Another tough game. It was all Texas last game. They shut them out 7-0. The Nerfy did hit in that one. We got Heaney going. He's given up home runs in 3 straight starts. I think they moved him to the bullpen recently. Now they're bringing him back to be a starter. So his last 2 starts, he went 3 innings in each of those, gave up home runs in both of those starts. Trevor Rogers hasn't been terrible. He kind of alternates good and bad starts here and there. So I don't know. You look at the last 10 games, the Marlins hitting 267 versus the last 10 games, but you drop it to the last 5 and they're hitting just 0.67, or 0.067, whereas the Rangers are hitting 283 versus lefties over the last 5, 227 over the last 10. But I think I got to go with the Texas Rangers. I trust them just a little bit more, and as slight favorites, minus 130 or whatever. But if you're going to look at a guy on the Marlins versus a lefty, I think it's Jazz Chisholm. Not a lot of home runs usually hit in Marlins games typically, but Jazz Chisholm, he's not bad. He's probably one of their best versus lefties as far as hitting home runs and making contact. On the Texas side, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, pretty much the only guys that have really done anything as far as home runs. Jonah Heim has 2, but I think the Rangers are the side on this one. Not a lot of these games are my favorite. I haven't been playing a lot of sides lately, like I mentioned yesterday, but I would take the Rangers or just pass on this game. The number's not good enough for the Marlins, especially after getting shut out. Sometimes teams bounce back after getting shut out, but it's the Marlins. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in them. All right, going to Kauffman Stadium. This one kind of smells a little funny to me. Padres plus 115 odds, underdogs. Royals are struggling. They've been losing quite a few games. They've lost 3 straight now. They've lost like 6 of the last 7 games. And they're minus 135. It's because of Cole Ragans, but still the Padres are hitting lefties well right now, hitting 283 over the last 10 games. whereas the Royals hitting about 241. We look at last 5 games, both teams hitting about 256 and 253. The Padres are at 256, so still don't trust this Royals bullpen. Both pitchers are fairly solid. I mean, Michael King has given up some home runs lately, whereas Cole Ragans hasn't. His last couple starts has been 19 strikeouts in his last 11 innings, no home runs given up, 2 earned runs. Whereas Michael King, 13 strikeouts in his last 11 and a third innings, gave up home runs in both his last 2 starts, but only 4 earned runs total. So 2 pretty decent pitchers, in my opinion. I got to take the plus money with the Padres in this one as much as I hate it. The Royals bullpen is not my favorite, and they're just not finding ways to win. So unfortunately, I got to fade the Royals here. It's a value play alone. That's all it is. All right, going to Milwaukee was a huge mismatch in pitching. Freddie Peralta going against Nick Nastrini. Nastrini, there's nothing that shows that he should be a starting pitcher, really. He's given up home runs in two straight starts. He's given up 3 home runs in his last 8 innings, 11 earned runs, only 5 strikeouts, 10 walks. So he struggles with control. He gives up the long ball. Not what you want to see. Freddie Peralta has been struggling with giving up home runs. And that one game where he pitched in Miami, he gave a home run in the first inning, and then he was solid through the rest of the game, but his offense didn't back him up at all. They lost that game 1-0, but Brewers are hitting 280 versus righties over the last 10 games, whereas the White Sox hitting just 186. This is a huge mismatch. I don't trust the White Sox whatsoever, and I do not trust Nick Nastrini. William Contreras, 7 home runs, batting 324. Willie Adames, 8 home runs, batting 273. I could see Adames, Hoskins potentially hitting the home runs today. Maybe Christian Yelich. Lots of guys on this Brewers team. I think the Brewers should be able to win this game pretty easily. Do I love the number? Absolutely not. It's gross. Minus 300, whatever they are. So you have to lay like minus 1.5, and you're still laying odds on that. So it is gross, but it's hard to take a total because I don't know if the White Sox score any runs in this game. So you got to look at either the Brewers on the run line, minus 1.5, or take an alternate run line, or just look at some player props in this game. Maybe the Brewers team total over 4.5 might be a play. Hopefully they put up more runs than they did yesterday, but there's no way I can get behind the White Sox in this game. All right, going to Wrigley Field where the Cubs host the Reds. Yesterday there was a rain delay. The game got played pretty late in the evening. The Cubs did end up getting it done. Today we're seeing the wind blowing in, but the higher temperatures the game should be played. I don't see any rain in the forecast, but you got mid-60s temperatures, humidity still in the air, but the wind is blowing in, so that does affect it a lot at Wrigley Field. Nick Lodolo going against Ben Brown. Ben Brown was actually solid his last start. I think he had 10 strikeouts, 7 innings, 2 walks, no home runs. He's went 3 straight starts now without giving up a home run. Strikeout numbers haven't been bad. The Reds have been striking out quite a bit. Nick Lodolo, he's given up home runs in 4 straight starts now. They haven't been terrible. A lot of them have been solo shots for the most part, but I don't know if I trust this Reds team a ton. The Cubs are hitting 269 versus lefties over the last 5 games. Reds hitting just 211 versus righties. This is a tough one, but I think I got to go with the Cubs if I was going to pick a side. Ben Brown has been solid. He's going to be pitching at home. He's got like a 55, a little bit tough, 55% hard hit rate, but other than that, that's like the only concerning number really from him. I don't love that the wind's blowing in. It makes it a lot harder here at Wrigley, but Christopher Morel, 4 home runs, batting 222 versus lefties. Seiya Suzuki, definitely a guy to look at. He hit a home run yesterday. He knows Lodolo a little bit. He's hit him before, but not a ton. On the other side, the Reds, I don't know. I'm still waiting for some breakouts from Ellie. He's been pretty cold lately as far as hitting home runs. Will Benson, 7 home runs, batting 233. Spencer Steer, 4 home runs, batting 241. Honestly, the Cubs at a short price. I think I kind of got to take them. I don't love it a lot. I've been a Nick Lodolo backer usually, but the Reds are just not doing a ton offensively. They struggle in the game 3 of series too. They're 6-12 overall in game 3s, whereas the Cubs are 12-5. After a loss, the Reds are just 2-9 in the third game of a series. So I don't know. For whatever reason, they struggle in these situations. I think I gotta go with the Cubs. Still don't love the bullpen. I think this could go nerfy. I might be looking at a nerfy in this game. The two nerfies I was probably gonna look at was going back to the Pirates Blue Jays, even though it burned me yesterday, and then maybe this Reds Cubs game was the two nerfies that I was gonna look at. But I think I gotta lean to the Cubs if I was gonna take a side. All right, the Yankees and the Giants. The Yankees have owned this matchup. Aaron Judge has been on fire. He's hit 3 home runs in the last 2 games here. Giants offense hasn't really been doing a lot. Now they get Nestor Cortez, who's been limiting runs. He did give up a home run his last start to the Angels, and actually they ended up losing that game. It was 4-3. He only had 4 strikeouts in 5 innings, so not the greatest. But Blake Snell on the other side, he's also hasn't been like super great since he's been picked up. He's been giving up a lot of earned runs. He struggles with walks. He can give up home runs. He can get strikeouts when his slider and his curveball are working, but I don't know if I trust the Giants a ton here. The Yankees are hitting just 188 over the last 10 games versus lefties, so that is kind of a concern. You look at the last 5 even, it's 173 average, but you look at the last 5 for the Pirates hitting just 158. So this one could be a tough one. I trust the Yankees lineup more. The Giants just 115 underdogs. Yankees have won 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Yankees sweep here. I don't know. I just don't trust Blake Snell enough right now. All right, going to Dodger Stadium. I was completely wrong about this game yesterday. The Rockies won the first game 4-1, then they lost yesterday 4-1. But the Dodgers are not hitting home runs right now. Their offense has been pretty sluggish. They've lost 6 of the last 10 games. 7 of the last 10 have went under. The Rockies have won 6 of the last 10 games. Head-to-head, these teams, the Dodgers have won 7 of the last 10 meetings. Gavin Stone, the righty, going for the Dodgers. He's been so-so. He's only had 1 bad start in his last 5. But Austin Gomber's actually been solid. He's got like a 2.76 ERA on the season, 1.11 whip. He doesn't have the greatest fastball velocity. Strikeout stuff's not crazy. He doesn't get a ton. Usually maybe about a strikeout per inning at the most. But with a pitcher that pitches half his time at Coors Field, his numbers have actually been pretty good so far. He's got a 1.4 home run per 9, only a 38.3% hard hit rate. So both these pitchers limiting damage. Wouldn't surprise me to see another under here. Don't really want to lay any huge juice with the Dodgers again, but would be nice to see some home runs hit in this one. I've been playing the home runs and just haven't been getting it done, but we got about 6 to 7 mile an hour winds blowing out to left center field, around 65 to 70 degree temperatures. So the Rockies versus a righty, 2 guys I love to look at here is Ryan McMahon and Ezekiel Tovar. Both have pretty good averages and can hit home runs. Alheris Montero, not bad. He's starting to come along a little bit, but he's only got 3 home runs versus righties. Elias Diaz has 3 home runs. Brenton Doyle has 5 home runs. This will be the first time that the Rockies are seeing Gavin Stone, so that could make it a little bit harder through the beginning of the lineup. On the other side, Freddie Freeman has 1 home run versus Austin Gomber, and Shohei Ohtani has a home run as well. Versus lefties, Will Smith, 415 average with 4 home runs versus lefties this year. Mookie Betts batting .333 with a home run. Teoscar Hernandez, 6 home runs, batting .270. Hodges, .351 average with a home run. And then Ohtani, 3 home runs, batting .301. So a lot of guys, obviously, that can still hit lefties on this Dodgers team. This one is a tough one for me. kind of want to take the Rockies just as a value play, but I was wrong about it altogether yesterday. But I don't know. Both games have went under. It's a tough one, man. There's a lot of this whole weekend series has been tough as far as finding good angles. Rockies are hitting 247 versus righties. Dodgers hitting 267 versus lefties. This could be the game maybe that actually goes over in the series, but it is Sunday, so maybe that I'm seeing the under 8.5 juiced, the 8.5 under juiced minus 115. Dodgers minus 275 favorites. I just can't do it. I can't even lay the run line with them. It probably would be Dodgers here, but this is a tough game, man. Gomber's pitched fairly well. I do not trust this Rockies bullpen a ton, but I don't know. The way that both games have gone, this one is literally a 50-50 toss-up. It could go either way, so it's hard to pick a side here. I'm not going to lie. Kind of lean towards the Dodgers, but I just don't love any of the numbers on them. So, and they didn't even score 5 runs yesterday. So they scored 5 runs total in the last 2 games. So it makes it really tough. All right, Angels Mariners, man. I don't know if I can really back the Angels right now. Griffin Canning has been somewhat better lately. The Mariners are big favorites in this one, minus 210. Total sitting at 7, juice to the over. Mariners have won 8 of the last 10 games. Canning has given up 4 home runs in his last 3 starts, so I don't know. He's limiting earned runs for the most part. I just don't really trust him a lot. Luis Castillo's given up 3 home runs in his last 2 starts as well. 9 strikeouts in 11 innings, 4 earned runs total given up. I just trust the Mariners bats more than I do the Angels right now. Both teams not hitting righties the greatest. Below 200 average for both of them. I think there's a reason why this total is set where it is. Wouldn't surprise me to see a lower scoring game, but I lean to the Mariners as much as I hate it. I wish I could get there with the Angels. I just don't really trust Canning a ton, and I mean the Angels did just get shut out. They've lost 4 straight games now. 8 of their last 10 they've lost. They're just not really a team you can back very often. They do sometimes snag a win in a series here and there. So if they were going to win one, it would be probably this game. But game 3s, they're 6-8 after a loss. Seattle's 4-6 after a win. So game 3, this might be the one where the Angels get the win. They did get shut out yesterday. Maybe that gives them some momentum, but it's really hard to back them right now. I don't know. All these really torn on. I can't find any good angles that I like one way or another. This total sitting at 7 is kind of weird. I'm surprised it's not 7.5 at least. But it's 7 juice to the over. I don't know. I like the number with the Angels, but I don't know if the offense shows up in this one. It's been all Mariners pretty much, so man, this sucks. I don't know. I can't get one way or another on this one. I lean to the Mariners. I don't like the number. Really want to play the Angels, but I just don't know if I can trust anybody on their lineup. Joe Adell has been like one of the hotter guys versus righties. But other than that, yeah, I don't have a lot for this one. All right, going to the last game of the night, Phillies-Cardinals, evening game here. Will say that the Cardinals do struggle in game 3s. They're 4-12 overall this season, 2-5 after a loss. So for whatever reason, they struggle quite a bit so far this season. In the 3rd game of the series, Phillies 12-5 overall in game 3s, 8-4 after a win. Lance Lynn going, he can give up home runs. He hasn't had any outings where he's got shelled, but he's given up 4 earned runs a few times in his last few starts. Given up home runs in 2 of his last 3. Taijuan Walker on the other side, he's given up home runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. He got rocked his last outing, 5 earned runs, 6 runs total, 9 hits in 6 innings, only 4 strikeouts. I could see this one potentially seeing some runs. Cardinals hitting 251 their last 10 games. Phillies hitting 220. I don't want to take a shot with the Cardinals, but I think the over might be in play. It's a Sunday night baseball game. Should be a decent night in Philly. Wind is blowing out. 6 to 7 miles an hour, 80-degree temperatures. Kind of lean to the over in this game, but we'll have to see how the day goes. The Phillies are still a really good home team, 24-8, whereas the Cardinals just not the greatest on the road. Cardinals have won 7 of their last 10 games, but they're struggling versus the Phillies. They've only scored 3 runs, given up 10. Yeah, I don't know, man. Another tough game. I lean to the Phillies just because I trust their bats more right now. But Phillies have typically owned this matchup, and like I said, the Cardinals seem to struggle in the third game of the series. Like I said, this whole weekend card has been tough for me. I lean to the Phillies. I think potentially we could see some runs in this game, though. All right, this Oilers and Dallas Stars game. The Stars struggled at home in the playoffs, so the Oilers managed to get the win there. They dominated that game. They played really well. Went up 3-0 pretty early in that game. I don't know, man. The Oilers come back home. Their home crowd is one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest in Canada or in NHL. As far as Canada goes, it's hard. You go anywhere. Toronto, Vancouver, all have really good fans. But this building is going to be rocking tonight. Outside the building, Rogers Center, everywhere, the town is going crazy. The Oilers have the chance to punch their ticket to play the Panthers. And honestly, they want to close it out at home in front of their home fans. So this is going to be a game where obviously Dallas's back is against the wall here. And I'm a homer, but Edmonton plays so much better at home. Dallas has been better on the road in the playoffs, so it would not surprise me to see this be a tight game. But it's hard to go against Edmonton with the home ice advantage here. I think their pretty public play is going to be potentially on the Oilers, and it's kind of hard, but I kind of lean to the over in this game. I think at 5.5 we could potentially see some goals. It's going to be all-out game, so there's going to be checking. There's going to be, lots of stuff going on, but obviously there's going to be lots of block shots too. Everybody's going to be putting the body on the line to try to win this game on both sides. So I think the over at 5.5. I just might have to be the play that I go with. I personally, as a fan, I hope Edmonton wins this game at home. Their fans really deserve it. It's been a long time. McDavid has been really trying to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, obviously, his whole time with Edmonton. But yeah, I don't know. I look at player props here. Potentially Leon Draisaitl. If I was going to take a goal scorer on the Edmonton Oilers side, Draisaitl is one of those guys. Zach Hyman. On the Dallas Stars side, Wyatt Johnston's kind of my go-to guy right now. He's been pretty good. Tyler Seguin, not bad. Jason Robertson, not bad too. But I think Wyatt Johnston's the better one. I haven't even looked at odds yet. I'll be looking at this game a little bit later on, but probably going to put in some goal scorers for this game. I'm an Oilers fan, live in Edmonton, so obviously it's hard for me to go against the Oilers in this situation with knowing their home crowd and how they play at home. I think they can close it out at home, but I'm just going to lean to the over. I think if we don't see a 4-2 type game, I would be kind of surprised. Unless this game goes to overtime, it's 2-2 at the end. That would be the only way it stays under. I don't think it's going to be all one-sided. I don't think anybody's going to. Last game it was 3-1. I don't know. We've seen. Let's see. The Oilers have only went over in 3 of their last 10 games, I think. So the trends point towards an under game. I don't know, man. This is a tough game to find a side on. There's value on the Dallas Stars. I just don't know if I can trust the Stars getting it done in Edmonton. The Oilers crowd just helps them out a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. As a fan, I'm going with the Oilers, but I don't blame me if you want to take the value with the Dallas Stars. I don't know why Tanev wouldn't be out or would be out. I think he would play for this game even if he's injured still. He played last game, so he is on the injury report as questionable, but I just don't see him not playing this game. It's a do or die game. They need him really bad. So I don't think there's anything that stops him from playing unless he like literally can't skate. So on the other side, the Oilers are completely healthy. It's going to be a good game, I think. But I might post a goal scorer parlay on X if later on. It's still super early. I want to see what lineups they're all going with and stuff. But Wyatt Johnston, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman would probably be three of my top goal scorers. I don't mind McDavid. He's been shooting the puck more. So maybe McDavid, but yeah, we'll see how it plays out. All right. Once again, a long video. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate it. I'm trying not to make these videos super long, and they end up always being long. As far as the parlay goes, make sure to follow me on X. Sometimes I post parlays, but like I said, I don't love this Saturday or this Sunday card. There's a lot of games that just can't really find a good edge on, but I think potentially the Red Sox can win. Sorry, just let me log into this here. Let's see. Red Sox. I think the Orioles are the way to go. I don't know. That line is kind of weird and it's dropping, so that does concern me a little bit. Texas Rangers. Really want to play the Nationals today against Carlos Carrasco, but I need their offense to show up. I think if the Brewers lose today, that's pretty bad with Peralta on the bump. If the Brewers lose, it's because their offense didn't do anything, but I don't see Nick Pastrini holding the Brewers to 1 run or less. And I think I trust the Cubs more than the Reds. And the Yankees, I don't trust Blake Snell, man. As far as that Dodgers game goes, that's a tough one. The Mariners, man, I don't know. I don't like playing all favorites. That's the problem. This is a tough Sunday card, but there's going to be some underdogs that win. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. 7 favorites is just not what you want to do usually for a parlay, because especially on a Sunday. But the Red Sox, Orioles, Rangers, Brewers, Cubs, Yankees, and Mariners plus 320, 3,284, so $10 pays 38.43. Would be. It's obviously a super long shot. It's hard. This is a hard card, like I said. But I'm going to be rooting for the Oilers tonight. Like I said, don't blame you guys if you want to take the value with the Dallas Stars. But go Oilers. Good luck today. Bet responsibly. If you guys found any value in this video, this long 43-minute video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you get the shorts when they get dropped, the community posts, the Nerfy sheets, or any of the long form videos discussing picks and stuff like that. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Josh, out there. You always watching, tuning in, commenting. Appreciate that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.